Arsenal Fan TV. Chris, you needed this today as well, as much as the team. You were getting a lot of stick, but it was a big win today.
You know, I heard someone say last week, "Where's the Ginger Chris?" And so here I am. Now you're completely. I was thinking when it was 0-0 after 70 minutes, I am fucking not looking forward to seeing you today. I always look forward to seeing you, especially since Christmas, but not today. I needed this.
But we got out of jail. Well, I wouldn't say got out of jail, but it was a massive 3 points and a big goal by Giroud.
On that though, the rest in peace to the Wenger Out Brigade comment I made a couple of weeks ago. Firstly, it was appropriate at the time, but it was very much a tongue-in-cheek comment. It wasn't an attack of any sort. It was a bit of banter, but the reaction to it has been so over the top. It's like, I don't want to start it all up again, and it's just silly how people have reacted. Like, it's just the Wenger Out Brigade have shown their true colours in the last week. Really, I don't mean to start an attack again, but like, they don't need to get like aggressive and like, it's bullying, really, isn't it? And being abusive. Like, you look at Claude's interview with Ty. No, Ty's only crime is to support the club and the manager, and Claude's like shouting at his face, you know, being really abusive. And I like Ty. He doesn't deserve that. I deserve it because I'm a wind-up merchant. Yeah, if it DT to me, that's fine. I can take that because I probably deserve it. But anyway, to the game, I thought it was actually quite convincing.
Convincing.
When you look back at that tonight, you'll see we had quite a lot of chances. Foster played a blinder in some occasions. A 3-0 would have been a fair result on that. I thought it was quite good. It wasn't.
Some of the guys today saying we didn't create anything.
It wasn't. Well, what game were they watching? It wasn't vintage Arsenal. I mean, Sanchez hit the post at the start of the second half. But we played well against a team that showed no ambition whatsoever. They were just playing anti-football. We had like 76% possession, and all they were intent on doing is like sitting back for the 0-0. And considering they're 8th in the Premier League and they're, you know, an established Premier League team, it was pathetic, their lack of ambition, really. I know that a draw here would be amazing for them, but still, you don't pay to watch this sort of stuff. You want to see a decent game, but we did well.
You make a good point, because, you know, there are people saying we didn't create, but we hit the post. I'm sure we hit the post twice. I mean, you know, we did have chances in the game.
I wasn't expecting a lot of goals from us today. You look at West Brom's last 8 Premier League games away from home this season, it's all they've conceded 0 or 1 goal. And you just saw the Chelsea game a couple of weeks ago. Chelsea were lucky to win that, to be honest. It's very similar. We played better than Chelsea did against them. We created much more. But especially at Christmas as well, no team is going to have like peak performances, because this is all about stringing results together. You've got like 3 games in 7 days or whatever. It's very much just getting win. It doesn't matter about the quality of performance. But a couple of players to pick out. Firstly, Giroud, for 2 reasons. Firstly, it was a great header. That's, by the way, everyone knows he's got great heading ability. He's got the most headers in the Premier League ever in history. But secondly, it shows that of all the Premier League teams, our subs have created the most goals this season in terms of goals and assists. I think it's like 11 or 12 goals now. And so 2 things on that. It shows we have got the best squad. Well, arguably it shows that we've got the best squad. We've got strength off the bench. But also, not many people say this, but Arsene Wenger does know what he's doing when he brings people up. I know it's a no-brainer bringing Giroud and Perez off.
A lot of people saying he made the changes way too late, though. Why didn't he do them earlier?
He always makes them at the 70th minute. That's just the style of management.
That's not a good... why not make it half time if it's not working?
We won. Stop complaining.
No. I'm just I'm just saying what people have been saying in all along since we've been doing the interviews. Yeah. Why didn't he make those changes earlier? We could have won the game more comfortably.
But that's what you just said is a subjective opinion. What I'm saying is an objective fact, that we have created the most goals from substitutes out of every single Premier League team.
So if you bring him on at half time, he might have a better chance of winning it, or bring him on earlier. If he do so well with that, bring him on a bit earlier.
But then you run the risk of, if you bring players on at half time and then you run out of substitutes and someone gets injured or whatever. So it's a balancing exercise. You know, you don't want to do too much. But anyway, we won, so that's by the by. One player that I do want to talk about though is Mesut Ozil, because there's been a lot being said about him in the past couple of weeks. He's very much public enemy number 1. You know, not just, you know, from Arsenal fans. He's like been scapegoated for the team's travails, and I just think the reaction is completely over the top. And it's like, he's a genius. He's a world-class player, and like the Mesut Ozil song, I just don't think you understand. I've never heard words that are more apt for a player. Because I expect the reaction about Ozil from the media, the non-Arsenal fans. But what surprised me, like, people will come on here, you know, they watch him every week, still don't understand him. And like, so let's debunk a couple of myths. First myth, that he's lazy. He's not lazy. There was that thing that came up in a week where he's won back the most number of tackles, possession in the final third, second with Sanchez in the Premiership. And then out of everyone else in the Premiership, he runs the most in his number 10 position. He's also one of the top 3 runners at the club for each, on and off for each game. So he does cover a lot of ground. And secondly, that he doesn't turn up in big games. Well, that's rubbish as well. You look at Chelsea at home this season, the Champions League games last season, Man United last season, Man City and the Liverpool game. He is a big game player, but he will struggle when we don't have possession, like in those away games where, like last week, for example, we had like 39% possession. He needs like the possession in order to thrive. And the other thing is he's missing Cazorla. People don't say that, but the partnership between them two is really what makes Ozil. In that I think that was like the most passes completed in the Premiership so without him supplying him, it's like he's a bit ineffective. But even without that, even without Cazorla, he's still he's worth it as a luxury player, because I'd like to know where else we're going to get that creativity from. But even though he was quiet today, his cross for the Giroud goal, that was quality. And there was an article run by a newspaper last month, and it compared every single Premier League player in the 25-year history assists per minute, and Ozil was top, and that's a lot. If you compare it to players like Cantona, Bergkamp, Ozil was top. And I would love to have seen social media around when Bergkamp was playing. I love Bergkamp, I'm one of his biggest fans, but he often went missing in large parts of games, and then he comes up with a moment of magic, and that's what you play them for. We play Ozil as a classic number 10 to create those defining moments. He's not a Roy Keane or a Patrick Vieira that's going to run around the pitch and grab the game by the thrust of the neck and turn it round. He's there to make the key difference. So I just think we need to stop scapegoating him and appreciate him.